Hello everybody, welcome back to Filament. We've been making some good progress. I'm not sure where all of the things left to do are. I've kind of been around this place so many times now, I've gotten myself just slightly lost in it all, but that's okay. I think it might be about time to go up to the top floor again and continue some of the ones where we did the first 5 puzzles and then kept touring around, except we are on the top floor, so clearly I'm misremembering something or forgetting something else, but we'll find some puzzles. We certainly will. And this space station is still just a joy to wander through. Alright, that was all finished. That door is not done. What was this one? I barely remember this. Is it all of one colour before the next? Let's go back to the previous puzzles. See what we can recall from these. I might have to go even further back. So 3 blue, can't go into a mix. Was it blue and then green and a blue-green, then blue and a green and a blue-green? Can I go around corners on the used ones? I can. Okay, I understand. Just because I understand it doesn't mean I'm going to execute it well, but we'll see what we can do. So we have 5 blues, 5 greens, and 2 mixes. How are we going to use the mixes here? It's a great question. So I can't touch this first. And I'm guessing they have to be equal volumes. That's going to be fun. So a 1 and 4 and 4, or 2 and 3 and 3 and 2. Or 3 and 3 and 2 and 2, rather. Where do we begin? It's a great question. Now I'm not touching the one at the top. My brain cannot do this right now, and I'm happy to concede in that fact. Perhaps I'm going to regret not sticking with one puzzle type for longer periods. Sable. There's another computer. There's a lot of stuff back here. Where did these puzzles originate? Just here on their own? Something completely untouched? That one's independent. So I've not done any of these yet. A floor pad? How did I miss this entire set of puzzles previously? I never cease to amaze myself. So over and around, sure. They're the same variant of like 1 or 2 puzzles at the beginning of all of these things. Alright, simple enough. Oh god. Okay. It's just a bunch of out and backs. That's no bother, right? I have now missed those two. Oh, God. That doesn't count. It's too close to the corner. Is there a very simple way of doing this? Is this one in the center here? If I can't cut across a diagonal, I'm going to have major issues, aren't I? That is a lot of floor panels. I'm still just impressed that I missed this whole section to begin with. If I do this... I mean, that's not bad for a half, is it? Maybe it is this simple. So then we can cut down these. Yeah, this will be fine. So, try not to overcomplicate things. And they stick us in a tiny room. How am I going to get... this one? That's a great question. Oh God, can I go on the underside of this? Nope. Can I do over-under instead? Yeah.
Do you want to know how this all started? I was just thinking about Pistachio some more. All of this, it started with her. After the failed probe launch, things started to go wrong. Equipment began intermittently acting funky, the ship was drifting more often, and Canary's readings of the planet were all over the place. Then Pistachio just disappeared. And I don't mean she ran off or anything. She literally just vanished. She wasn't on the ship anymore. All her stuff was still here, all the escape pods still in the bay. We searched. All we found were the clothes she was wearing on the floor in her lab. And her hands.
Gross. You found her hands. Really makes you wonder what happened to the rest of them. Interesting that this puzzle starts from a pillar that is attached to the center of the room, allowing me to just do a full lap of convenience at the end, whereas this one, edge of the room, more traditional. Couple of crisscrosses, probably. But again, how do we get the first couple? Can't get behind there, so that's a no-go. That doesn't count as a crossover. Is this going to work out? Yep, good. Not at all what I pictured in my head initially, but totally fine. This feels like it looks way too simple, and so I fear it's going to be really complex. Yeah. How am I going to do all of these corners? I don't know if that was the intended solution or not. It didn't feel like it, but it worked. Just kind of slunking out of the side door. What are we doing here? Sorry, I had to go collect a package. How am I? Well, that one at the top isn't done for a start, so this hasn't worked. There's 4 on the bottom and 3 on the top. So if I do this, is there ever an order in which I can just do all of this back and forth? Kinda, but now I need to get to the outside edge to get around the last one, and we never went through the center. Works for me. Interesting that they're of slightly different sizes, particularly the squares. Maybe that this is like where they cut over in certain angles. They want the big ones but not the little ones to catch at different angles. Which angles can I use? Is a great question. I need more pins. How can I draw enough lines between all of these things? How can I draw both of these lines? It feels like something's missing. Obviously, it's not, but it feels like it is. Oh. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I can't visualize many helpful lines here, because with only the 5 dots we have, the only lines we can make are like straight across, outside edge for 2, or like inside hooks. Oh wait, hold on. Hold on. Alright, something like this where we go around the pins a whole load of times. But not quite. I guess it depends on which is the first one. Which one can we go around a bunch of times? Well, it's the most progress I've made so far. Okay, I don't need to use the one on the left here. I can just use the one in the center and repeat. How did I have it finishing, though? There's not some way I envisaged this working for me rather than against me. But if I could do this and then go up to the one at the top. If this corner will cut that one in, then that works. Good.
It was Canary who first realized the planet had something to do with Pistachio's disappearance. After the probe, Canary increased the number of readings she was taking on the planet. She had seen an increase of anomalous readings across the board right up to the day Pistachio disappeared. Then they just stopped. For a time. Then the anomalies started to crop up again, but faster than before. We had to leave. If the timing of the anomalies before was anything more than coincidental, then we were in danger. I've never prepped a ship for long-distance travel so quickly before. Not that it mattered. We were all set to leave, but when we tried, we realized we couldn't escape the planet's gravity. It was like it had somehow gained mass. And every time we put more power to the engines, the planet would pull back. Only harder.
How am I getting all of this? Problem is these lines don't cut across the squares in between. Neither does that. And I can't exit from here. That's no good. It just misses so much stuff. Like, even those don't hit one another, so I feel like it's going to be a lot of this. But I can't do that around the whole perimeter of this square, it feels like. There's like an incorrect number of pins to do this. Oh, that's tricky. And I can't really do anything with like a whole feast of out and backs to solve this problem. Can't make that move. God, it's moments like these you really have to give credit to the puzzle designers. Feels like so few moves, and yet the most obvious part isn't there. And even if this works, up to here. That last one doesn't work. And the rest of what I wanted to utilize to try and fix the problem was already cutting across the whole level. Now this feels kind of better just in that first initial straight line that covers 3 of them. That looks good. Because then these 2 are going to cut between one another. Very nice. And of course, they get more complex. Eight pins. This looks like it's going to be a real pain. Is this all going to come together super easily? Because the squares are large enough that I can pull around the outside edge. No, you're not going to let me in there. Oh, it's so rude. And then these 3 become a much larger problem. Here I was, hopeful that I had stumbled upon the answer immediately. What a fool I was. How are we going to get all of those additional? I mean, a straight line around the outside edge probably isn't it. So we know this isn't it because I can't get the top left pillar if I do it this way. I have worries about this pad doing it this way, otherwise looks great. Do we ever start in something like this, but evidently not this? I don't know. I'm going cross-eyed. Some of these, a lot of them have more limited options than others. Like this one feels like it has very few tracks that can actually connect it. I do like this. That one on the end, though, that's a real kick in the teeth, isn't it? Can I get some way to add that to my route? I can now use this one, right? I can fit through there. But that doesn't catch. This does. So I need an extra line going through this. Oh. Oh. And then straight up, that catches it on the outside edge. And that's the loop. Love to see it. Oh boy. You just get more complicated, don't you? The pins are symmetrical. The floor contacts aren't. And I don't even know what some of this is going to need to look like to get all of it. Like, I think that has to go out to there to get that particular one. But at the same time... Oh, wait, okay. I assume these three aren't going to get gotten. Nope. That would do it. And then I can loop around that other one at the end, I assume. Let's double check. Yes. Okay. Interesting. And I can get all of these, he says. Definitely can't get all of them. Also, how am I ever getting this one? Am I only ever getting that one by doing this? It feels like the outside edge presents a really big problem in this whole situation, doesn't it? So maybe I need to go around the outside edge at the very end somehow. Sounds like an intriguing prospect. But I have to know how I'm going to get out to the outside edge. And then I can use tension off of this guy on one side, but if I go around the whole outside edge, I then don't have some way to get tension here at the end. Very tricky. Kind of just start drawing lines and see what sticks. But not that, because now I will never get these two. Oh man, this one feels like I'm making no headway. I have this observation about the outside edge loop, but not much else to go on here. Only 3 of these left in this section that I can tell. I would love to get them all done today, but we're creeping up on that half hour already, and I know I do let some of these slipped up to 45 minutes, as it were, but I just can't see like my big in to this puzzle. That leaves that one unlit. I wonder. It kind of works. That leaves a lot to be desired. It does a lot with what we have, but leaves a lot of gaps. But could this be refined? Is there a different starting block, perhaps? How am I going to get that? I just don't know. Can squeeze in there. But no, none of this is making any sense to me at all. Let's go and get the diary entry from the hospital bed.
You know, Pluto? I think I've spent enough time in this room to last me a lifetime. I was betrayed by my own appendix, of all things. I mean, the two of us never had a particularly notable relationship, but we coexisted happily. So I thought. I was bedbound for over a week, with nothing to do except suffer through Vermilion's ancient music taste. I suppose I shouldn't be too hard on the old guy, though. He did save my life.
Yeah, it's hard to be mad at people who are giving you life-saving surgery. I can get back to the top north side. Does it look like more of these lines are filled in now? There's 3 not done. I feel like I've got more than 3 puzzle sets that I've not done, so maybe those don't have a correlation. Maybe they do and I'm much further through than I thought I was. I hardly know. I know that there's definitely collectibles that I have not collected yet. Oh, well there's one. Don't know where that was hiding. That's what I get for just mashing E as I'm moving through stuff. Easier on the controller when you have A available on the controller's edge, rather than WASD, E, all trying to be together. Can barely even see that that's a terminal. Back through to the cryo sleep section. Another one of these books. An Olive on a Chair, Lindsay Dixon, 5th edition. I wonder if the spines, like those 4 lines, line up to make a corrupted pattern between all of the other books that are on the station. Do I know where a book is? That is not a book. I do not know where another book is on this station. That looks suspicious for graffiti. Oh wait, there's a book. Yeah, no, this doesn't have like the same grid line pattern kind of thing about it. Alright then, that'll be plenty for today. Thank you ever so much for watching. If you're enjoying the series, please do consider subscribing or hitting that like button. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, you can put those down below. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.